when you think of West Virginia, you always hear the song, Almost Heaven, West Virginia. It really is.
Approximately 60 million visitors come to the mountain state each year to escape urban life and enjoy whitewater rafting, hiking, mountain biking, ATV trails, spectacular country vistas, small towns, culture and heritage, and entertainment. Tourism has grown to become one of the largest economic sectors in West Virginia, supporting over 40,000 jobs. Voices of Change, stories of tourism development in West Virginia. The town of Fayetteville, or Vandalia as it was known until 1883, is the county seat of Fayette County. Named in honor of the Marquis de Lafayette, what was initially a small village of 125 early settlers today has a population of 2,892 residents.
Fayetteville has this draw of, it's like the most perfect place to live in the world. It draws people, your rock climbers, your mountain bikers, your rafters, birders, just people just wanting to be outside. What's not to love about living here?
From the late 1800s to the mid-20th century, coal mining was the county's main industry. Company coal towns included the nearby Fayette Station, Thurmond, and Kmore dotted the New River Gorge. Although today's views of the gorge suggest an untouched forest, a hike into the gorge reveals the remnants of the region's industrial past.
And you can, take a walk down into the gorge and get an idea of what an old, the old Kmore mine site looked like and how people lived and worked there. And you can learn about all of this history, and then you fast forward and it's preserved now and taken care of, and you still have remnants of this history that you can share with people, but you also have this just amazing, beautiful natural resource. And I think it's a view unlike any other.
The passage of 1965's Appalachian Development Act and subsequent development of U.S. Route 19 through South Central West Virginia increased the ease of travel and opened the area to future development. 876 feet above the New River and spanning more than 3,000 feet across the New River Gorge, the New River Gorge Bridge was completed in 1977. With a 1,700-foot arch, the New River Gorge Bridge was for many years the world's longest steel single-span arch bridge. It marked the completion of the Appalachian Highway System's Corridor L and reduced travel times across the New River from 45 minutes to 45 seconds. Today, the bridge is crossed by an average of 16,000 vehicles per day.
Everything that you see today didn't exist back then. We owe like 90% of what we are today in this area because of the bridge. I don't think there are many people, if any, who ever envisioned the changes that have taken place in the last 37 years.
This will be the 35th anniversary of Bridge Day. Last year it was an event that saw participants from 42 different states and 10 different countries. So it just gives us an avenue that we can get out there and we can show the world not only what the New River Gorge has, but what West Virginia has.
Whitewater rafting pioneers came to the New River in the late 60s and early 70s and established rafting companies in Thurmond and on the plateau that would spawn the development of a future tourism economy.
We came down here to raft.
And we were just lucky to be in the right place at the right time. Started our company with $7,500, borrowed the money from our parents, and we bought 6 rafts.
Coinciding with the completion of the bridge was the establishment of the New River Gorge National River as a unit to the National Park System in 1978. Encompassing over 70,000 acres of land from Bluestone Dam to Hawks Nest Lake, the park protects the area's rich history, lush forests, and the rugged whitewater of the New River, among the oldest rivers on Earth. Here in southern West Virginia, the New River has carved and continues to carve the deepest and longest river gorge in the Appalachian Mountains.
It's been an interesting entry into establishing a national park in southern West Virginia, and I would say that there are mixed feelings about it. But what you have as a result of it is 53 miles of the river from Fayetteville down into Hinton, a protected watershed, amazing scenic views, a significant volume of culture and history. These sites are protected. And so what you now have as a result of the national park being founded is a destination for people.
The New River Gorge National River quickly became known for its excellent recreational opportunities. The lower gorge of the New River is a premier whitewater rafting location, with imposing rapids ranging in difficulty from Class 3 to Class 5. The gorge's sandstone cliffs began attracting rock climbers in the 1980s, becoming one of the East Coast's premier climbing destinations.
Well, people started climbing here in the 70s. A few people, and there were even locals who'd go in their backyard. You know, there's a natural urge to climb. But then in the 80s, really climbing here took a big jump when a fellow named Bruce Bergen, who was an engineer and photographer in Beckley, took pictures and came up to Seneca Rocks, and he came in with a book of photographs of the New River Gorge.
Today, Fayetteville is a popular outdoor adventure destination, selected by Arthur Fromer's Budget Travel as one of America's top 10 coolest small towns. The community is a hub of eclectic shops, diverse dining options, and a mixture in culture from locals to tourists.
Park Service joined with the Boy Scouts and MBUT, International Mountain Biking Association, and developed a stacked loop trail system with about 13 miles of additional trail to our existing network. Every year we see more and more cyclists coming to the area for the day trip, for the weekend trip.
The Boy Scouts of America did a national search for a permanent home for the National Scout Jamboree. They had proposals every time zone of the country, competing to get this project. And when it came right down to it, this part of West Virginia really fit well with the scouting program.
The community of Fayetteville has and continues to experience the benefits and challenges of developing a sustainable community-based tourism economy. As you listen to the community story, think about these 4 questions. What was accomplished? How did they do it? Who was involved? What opportunities and challenges are they facing? Successful community tourism development is built on communication, partnerships, a community vision, and a long-term commitment to bring that vision to fruition. It embraces 5 core values: maintaining authenticity and a sense of place, providing a quality experience, economic diversification, obstacles to opportunities, and shared benefits and local control. Community tourism development maintains a commitment to the community's authenticity and sense of place. It recognizes, preserves, and enhances the community's assets and values while remaining open to sustainable growth and change.
We have tried to maintain that authentic small town experience. It is sometimes a challenge because you want to grow, but you want to grow in a certain way and retain a certain ambiance.
A sense of place that exists here, that's palpable, and that comes from the locals. That comes from the people who are born and raised here, and then the imports definitely add some color to that fabric. So it's a very unique and interesting cultural dynamic aside from all the amazing activities.
The guest wants things that are local, they can touch, feel. They want a guide that's born and raised here. They want somebody that knows local history. The McDonald's theory works with hamburgers. Same hamburger in San Francisco as you'll get in New York, but that doesn't work in tourism.
I think Fayette County was the second county to do countywide zoning. It was done in the 1960s. And our citizens look to zoning as a protection now.
If you want to build your Walmart, we'd like it built out of brick. And it kind of goes with some of the old brick buildings that are downtown. Help your franchisees and help your developers know what the character of the town is so that you don't just pop a store in that looks like every other store in every other community.
We actually have a brand, and it's called the New River Gorge. We are trying to better promote that. I think the brand has to be true to who you are. It has to be an authentic brand.
Successful community tourism provides a quality experience for both visitors and residents. Visitors leave satisfied, excited to return, and eager to share their experiences. Residents maintain a high quality of life and a positive attitude toward tourism.
There are people who came climbing, came rafting, just drove over the bridge, pulled over and bought a house. It has that kind of magnetism on people.
There were certain things that made us different. And quality was probably the number one thing. Our lens was not a financial lens. Our passion wasn't finance. Our passion was based on running the river.
You're trying to facilitate people having a good time, and that's a business philosophy here for us. We're going to help you have the best, to get you where you need to be to have the best time, and you're going to want to come back. You're going to want to love this place.
We just don't spend money on marketing. We don't have to. The quality has to be there. The product, the service, the ambience. As long as you keep all those up, then yeah, you'll get return of people.
We're very lucky to have the job that we have. We get to make people happy. Making people happy is really good. It feels good. It's a nice place to be.
Tourism can be a component of a successful economic development strategy, but cannot on its own sustain the entire community. However, the amenities offered by tourism development often entice other industries and workers seeking to relocate, further strengthening the region's economic base.
The tourism industry in West Virginia and Fayette County is very young. Rafting's been going for 30-some years at the most. When we first started out, almost all of our guests were here to go rafting. And now, because the area has matured and grown and changed and become more popular, people understand that there's more to do here than just go rafting.
Things now seem more balanced. The biking here's getting better with the trails that are being built, and the climbing has been recognized, more and more. And whitewater is amazing, but it just seems more balanced. And that, to me, seems more sustainable. And that's economic diversity.
We made a conscious decision to grow, and we knew if the market was declining for rafting, that the only way we could grow was through other things. I mean, most businesses, they have to have capital and they have to have good management, or they're going to fail. We never could have done it without capital. These are all pushing $1 million investments, a pool, an aerial park, a canopy tour today is pushing $1 million. Luckily, we had the management and the capital to do it.
We all in West Virginia, southern West Virginia, know the perils of an economy that's built around one industry, the coal industry. You're subject to the fortunes or misfortunes of that industry. Hopefully, everybody in West Virginia will work to diversify their economy so that the upturn, downturn in any one industry doesn't have great consequences.
Unfortunately, there's just not enough opportunities for the multitudes. They get married, they have kids, and they realize that you can't exist on $35,000 a year. The goal would be to get to a point where more people can sustain themselves through tourism.
For me, my ultimate success is going to be when I can hire somebody to run this store and pay somebody a full-time salary year-round to manage, and I can create jobs.
Obstacles to growth are inherent. Successful communities recognize these obstacles, frame them as opportunities, and actively seek solutions for positive economic, social, and environmental outcomes.
They call it the Journey to the Jamboree. These groups from across the country would take more than 10 days to travel to and from the Jamboree. They would actually tour around a little bit before they came to the Jamboree. So the challenge we have here is how do we get that Journey to the Jamboree to be West Virginia specific?
I think there was a little bit of a struggle between, hey, we want our town to stay like this, but hey, these people are bringing money, and so how are we gonna work this out? It's a process, and I truly would think any small town goes through that whenever you are evolving from a coal mining, manufacturing based community to one that is now very heavily embedded with the tourism industry.
I think early on, outdoor rec was associated with a lot of swilling and loud laughter, and that starts to get dangerous. And so, yeah, there was a stigma attached early on.
How do you have a business that can sustain itself all year round? When you're in a tourism industry, if it's seasonal, you just have to figure that out. How can you find a business that you really love and is your passion, because you're probably not going to get really rich, but what it's going to do is it's going to let you live in an area that you want to live in.
The reason I opened Cathedral and Pies and Pines in Fayetteville is because I could afford to do it, and I did not see where I could afford to open a restaurant in bigger cities. That is the upside of it being seasonal and not making a lot of money, but you can start a business for a little amount of money.
Is there a big factory in Fayette County making kayaks now? No. Have we looked for that? Yes. I mean, that's part of what Wolf Creek Park was all about. We really had hoped that if we created a great piece of land that industry, in our industry, maybe somebody that the Chum factory would come here, the Yakima company would come here, but that hasn't happened. Until we get our education system quality, that's the reason Reef hadn't come here, Yakima hadn't come here, Chums hadn't come here. You've got to have a great school system.
We need to address those issues affecting our children, our buildings, our infrastructure, and our school system. It makes it hard for us to compete in people relocating here is because they want to look at the opportunities education-wise for their children.
Community tourism development is most effective when the community speaks with a shared voice. Partnerships, dialogue, and recognition of the community's varied interests and attractions encourage local ownership and support for development and marketing initiatives. By working towards shared goals, government, business, and residents can create synergies that benefit the entire community.
You can't do it on your own. It's a teamwork, and it's a partnership, and it's compromising, and it is working together, and it's checking egos at the door.
I think there's definitely cooperative efforts, and I'm not sure if there's a crystallized version of a shared vision.
I think the residents always saw there was a benefit, but it was just like, well, these people come in and they're here for a couple months and then they leave. And so sometimes it's tiptoeing dance around to keep everybody happy, that it's not too touristy, but it's not just totally closed off to just the town folks. I have seen that the town is becoming more inclusive of folks other than just the people that were born and raised here.
When the Boy Scouts of America started this project and came into this community, one of the first things we did is we kind of reached out to our local community, and it was a host committee made up of interdisciplinary. It had government officials on it, it had people from organizations and groups that all wanted to volunteer and come together to help welcome the Boy Scouts here to West Virginia.
When we started the Plateau Action Network over the proposed power line on the Meadow River, and we had everyone from Jehovah's Witnesses to trappers to hunters to fishermen to climbers to bikers. I've loved those moments when you really felt that transcendent, broader, diverse community awareness kind of happen.
And what was cool is that not only were we accepted by our rafting community, but we were accepted by the locals of the town. The cafe kind of brings both of those cultures together, opening the lines of communications between the sometimes dividing line of the two groups.
One thing that is super important in this community is it is a very small community. And I am friends with all the other restaurateurs in town, and we help each other out. It's very important that we're all working together to promote the whole town.
Yeah, we had, for example, Pies and Pints had agreed to put our beer on even before we had broke ground for the brewery. You know, once you partner up with successful business like that, I think that really helps other restaurants and bars be more accepting of your product and give you a chance.
The community of Fayetteville has experienced success and challenges with tourism development. The key elements of tourism: a diverse attraction base, quality products and services, effective marketing, and strong partnerships do not guarantee success without a long-term vision, a plan, and a commitment throughout the community to make it work.
You realize that without tourism, a community would die. So you embrace it and you move on.
And as time goes by, it gets better. We've been here for, it'll be 20 years this spring, and there's been a lot of change.
I don't think you'll recognize this place in another 20 years. There's so many opportunities here, it's not even funny. And it's not just because of the Boy Scouts, it's not just because of the rafting, it's the fact that we are still in our infancy. Our biggest problem is we're too slow to change.
Well, a successful Fayette County would be a full employment Fayette County where people can provide a quality of life for their families, that they have a safe environment, that they have a healthy environment. I think many of those things are consistent with what goes on in a tourism-based economy
We're reworking our comprehensive plan. We're updating our comprehensive plan. That was, to me, another major component that needed to be addressed and updated, because when you look at how do we want to grow into the future, how do we want to be responsive in protecting our natural resources and at the same time growing our infrastructure. And that is very important to us, that we be conscious about how we grow.
This will be a destination. We are doing everything from local school groups to national events to international events, and that all those things together would complement each other and give us a sustainable tourism base and job base for the folks that live in the community.
I would like for them to walk away being amazed at the beauty, at the scenic views and resources that we have here, amazed at the number of activities that's offered, pleased with the quality of their experience and their visit, having had a wonderful time exploring this area, and having walked away saying, not only is that place beautiful and there's all these amazing things to do, but those people were amazingly friendly as well. I'd really like to go back there.
Fayetteville has sprung from quiet origins to become a focal point of state, regional, and national attention. In an era of adventure sports and outdoor recreation, Fayetteville has emerged as a world-class destination. Its success can be attributed to an abundance of natural attractions, such as the New River Gorge, and on-built attractions, such as the New River Gorge Bridge. It has capitalized on individual entrepreneurialism combined with shared community efforts, resulting in growth and opportunity. With success comes challenges and tensions. There is a widely shared view that the community can help shape its destiny through local control and collaboration. This can be facilitated by reviewing and renewing the core values that have been discussed in this video.
Evening, silence, clouds drift from the mountainside. I'm going home. Snow falls, countryside, the houses glow warm at night. I'm going home. Holding fast, but giving ground. Moving on for others now. I'm going home. I'm going home. Shape, note, old voice,